Hello everyone and welcome to In Safe Hands. This is our first safeguarding podcast here at Staffordshire FA, and I think the point of these podcasts is to meet individuals that have got learned experiences from things that have happened in their lives or from people around them, and they are linked predominantly to football. So with that in mind, I want to introduce our first person, Kay. Hi,
Hello.
Kay. So Kay is one of our discipline chairs. She sits on cases for us. But as well as that, Kay is a mother, and she's got lived experiences which we think are really important to tell people about, to raise some awareness in the world of safeguarding. So, Kay.
Hello.
Hello, nice to see you again. So, Kay, when you hear the word safeguarding, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Safeguarding for me, when it's a big word, and it doesn't mean that something has to be complicated. So I'm an ex-police officer. So when I was first introduced to the word safeguarding, it was in a domestic violence situation where the police officers were told, you've got to safeguard your victim. Excuse me. But that was it. Nobody said what safeguarding was. So I was a little bit frightened of it. But it isn't.
I think it is a scary word, isn't it?
It is a scary word because, suddenly the onus is on you.
Yeah.
You've got to safeguard somebody, and it's like, well, how do I do that?
Yeah.
And from my lived experience, it's so much easier than everybody thinks.
Yeah.
That's what I would say from safeguarding. That don't look at the word and be frightened, because it's a simple thing to do.
Yeah. I think it was okay if we talk about, obviously, your story, and then we'll come back to that, because your story gives a much bigger context then as to safeguarding, the world of safeguarding. So, the floor's yours, Kay.
Right, so my daughter Caitlin took her own life when she was 20. Her battle with mental health started probably round about the age of 12, 13. I'm not saying that before that everything was perfect, but because with kids it's not. She had some issues at primary school, that kind of thing, that perhaps impacted on her later life also. But the main issue was at school. She started high school, and the first year, fabulous. It was like a breath of fresh air. She was a different kid. It was like, oh my goodness, all the issues of from primary school have gone. This is going to be the making of her. However, the start of year 8, something terrible happened. Do you want me to go into that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable to,
I'm more than comfortable. I'll talk about it till I'm blue in the face, because people need to know what's happening. So, unbeknownst to me, there was a young man, and he was a young man, bearing in mind Caitlin was 12, just going into 13, meeting Caitlin from school. I was completely unaware of this. So that happened as pretty much within a couple of months of her going into year 8. The first I'd become aware of it is in October 2012, when I'm contacted by a colleague. Bear in mind I'm a police officer at this time. I'm contacted by a colleague who informs me that my daughter has been groomed and has had sexual intercourse with an adult. She's 13.
I can't even imagine what that conversation must have felt like. Your world must have just imploded.
I suppose I went into work mode.
Yeah.
Pretty much, which, looking back, that wasn't what Caitlin needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I couldn't help that. I got into work mode. I wanted to know things. I wanted to make it right, and I'm never going to.
Yeah.
Because she is a child. She's 13, and she's now dealing with adult emotions that a lot of adults don't deal with properly.
Yeah.
So once this predator had got what he wanted from her, he moved on to his next victim. So she's now dealing with the fact that she's had sex,
Yeah.
and she's been rejected.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
she's
Heartbreak's hard as an adult. Heartbreak as a teenager, that's suddenly got everything else to deal with as well.
And she understood that what she'd given away was very precious, because we'd had a conversation in hindsight in the Christmas time, so around about the time she was about to turn 13, because her birthday's in January. Strange conversation at bedtime, gone in to say goodnight, and she says, "Mum, how old do you think you should be before you have sex?" And at that moment in time, I'm just thinking, high school, playground talk, etc., etc. So my answer was, well, the law says 16, but if I was you, I'd leave it as long as you possibly can till you know you've got the right person.
Yeah.
Yeah. In hindsight, he was pressuring her.
Yeah.
And she was considering, well, do I, don't I? Hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But it's also torturous.
Yeah.
When you're in this position.
And you look
you
back.
think, why didn't I see that? Well, because it was an innocent question.
I guess, I hope you don't mind me asking, I guess you think back to so many conversations, and I'm going to guess even now, years later, there's still something that happens in the world and it triggers a conversation that you had with her that you think, oh.
Yeah, all the time. All the time. But like I say, on that subject, so in year 8 we lived quite close to the school. We were on the edge of the town centre. She'd made lots of friends, new friends, who lived further out and had to catch the bus home. Mm-hmm. So she'd asked me, can I go into town to wait with them for the bus to come, and then walk home, which is like 10 minutes from the town centre. So, of course, at that age, you think, right, she's got to start loosening these apron strings.
Yeah, it's great that she's got friends, she's got this lovely active social life.
And they were really nice girls. Yeah. So I've said, yeah, of course you can. Yeah. That's where he was meeting her. And he was going into town with her.
So can I ask, obviously I know what happened off the back of it, but then are you happy to go on?
Yes, by all means,
beyond that?
So as a result of this trauma that she suffered and she was unable to deal with, she became suicidal. So first of all, the first, what's the word I'm looking for, signal to me that there was, she drank bleach. God. So, and again, in hindsight, that is something that a victim of sexual violence does. It's quite common because they're thinking, I want to clean myself.
Yeah.
But again, no. Then she started to self-harm, cutting her arms and her face, to be fair. And then I've lost count of the amount of suicide attempts. Always tablets, but we won't go into that. But there was suicide attempt after suicide attempt after suicide attempt. We got involved with CAMS, who were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. The school, on the other hand, not so much. I was battled with the school because one teacher in particular kept calling her an attention seeker, and I'm like, you can't do that. You can't do that. And I had to get CAMS to come into a meeting with me to say, look, this is not right.
It amazes me that they were saying that as well, bearing in mind, I'm going to assume they knew what she'd gone through.
Oh, God, yeah.
And almost the part that they played, or didn't play, in keeping her safe and keeping her protected. So for them to then say that is a real kick. You know, that's awful.
Yeah. But, it was quite, I don't know how to phrase it. they were just couldn't get to grips with it, because she was really bright and she was A stars. The girl had been raped and she was getting A stars, and the lady from CAMS at one of the meetings actually said this to the school, because I was crying out, I need some help from you, because I was getting phone call after phone call because of her behaviour at school. Why can we get some kind of educational psychologist into her to help? Oh no, her grades are too good for that. What do you mean her grades are too good? So if she was in one of the lower streams, we'd be able to get one. Oh yeah, there's money for that. Oh okay, and the lady from CAMS actually said, if you as a school could give this young lady some help, imagine how well she could do. Yeah. Bearing in mind, she's A stars and all the trauma.
Despite what she has gone through. Yeah.
Excuse me. But so CAMS were brilliant. Unfortunately, because of Caitlin's age, and this is not just Caitlin, but she's a kid, and yourself, you're a mum. When you've got a kid and you try to tell that child what to do, it's like a brick wall. Yeah. So the therapy that she was receiving, she wasn't engaging with. Yeah. She's too young. Yeah. It needed to happen, but she was just too young to engage and take anything from it. So when she was 18, she was discharged from CAMS, not because she was better, but because she was no longer a kid.
I'm completely going off piece a little bit, so humour me, but having experiences personally with my daughter, and with CAMS and with attempts at suicide. We also had a really good experience with CAMS, so I can't fault them. But what I did find, similar to you, the moment you go from paediatric care into adult care, what a difference. And what a baptism of fire then, because you do feel quite lonely, don't you?
I didn't even get that. Yeah. Because this is, I've taken this further with other people, but it falls on deaf ears. And you hear it on the news now talking about mental health issues, that CAMS did not open a door for Caitlin to go into adult mental health care. So she's just set adrift at 18. Yeah. So at 18 now, I've got a young lady who is still suicidal, who still wants to die, and goes into crisis on a regular basis, and I can't get help. So every time I'm ringing for help, can't speak to you, need to speak to her. Yeah. She's an adult. Yeah, but she don't want to speak to you because she's vulnerable. In crisis. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can't speak to you. You but I'm a mum. Yeah. I'm a mum.
I think what I find personally frustrating, and I know that you did and you do, is safeguarding does not just apply to the point that you're almost 18. Safeguarding continues as an adult. Yeah. And I think so many people, without meaning to, sometimes forget that, because just because they're now 18 years old and one day doesn't then mean that they are completely comfortable in making these phone calls and asking for help or speaking. And this can go way into adulthood, can't it? And they still don't have the confidence.
Were in the zone. That's what I used to call Caitlin. When Caitlin was in the zone of wanting to die, she didn't want to speak to anybody. She didn't want any help. She wanted to die. Yeah. But when she'd come out the other side of that zone, I'm all right. I don't need to speak to anybody. Yeah. No, you're not, chick. Yeah. You really do need to speak. No, I'm all right now. Yeah. So it is really difficult. And one of the... So I phoned the crisis team one night and got through to somebody. And she said, I explained what was happening. We went through I need to speak to her because she's an adult. No, she don't want to speak to you. Yeah. I need some help. Well, we don't make house calls. Okay. Right, so what am I supposed to do? How I don't know what to do. Well, if you're that worried, ring the police. And I'm like, don't forget it, I am the police. I put the phone down. I just dealt with it myself all the time. And I've finally battled together. I'm not saying I did this on my own, because she did start to come round to the fact, I perhaps do need some help. And she was 20 when I got her first adult assessment. So she had that first adult assessment on a Thursday, and she was dead the following Sunday. It was like, wow. And I honestly thought on that Thursday, leading up to the Thursday, and as she came out of the appointment, we've turned a corner.
Yeah.
Because
after battling to report and to report and to report.
I honestly thought we've turned a corner here, because she even came down a couple of days before the appointment, because she used to have such a downer on her body image, and she was stunning.
Mm.
If I'd have looked like that at 20, I'd have ruled the world. She was stunning.
Yeah.
But you know, nothing was ever good enough.
Yeah.
Because people had told her that.
Yeah.
And she came down one day, she said, well, no, Mum, I don't think I need a boob job anymore. I think I'm quite happy with my little bust. And I'm like, yes. And she walked out of the living room, and I looked at my husband, and I just went, yes.
Yeah. Little victory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, but like 4 days later, she was dead.
I don't even know what to ask about that. I've got to be honest. I don't know what to ask, because
it was completely... how can I put this? You know when somebody's got terminal illness, and you know it's inevitable that they're going to pass away soon.
Yeah.
With Caitlin, it was like that. And it's still a shock when it happens. Do you know what I mean? So you know somebody's been given this diagnosis, you've got a terminal illness, you've got 6 months to live, and, you know, 7 months later they pass away.
Yeah.
It's still a shock.
Yeah.
And even though I'd gone through all this with her from the age of 13 through to 20, it was still a shock when it happened. And it was a shock mainly because it was, I don't know how to put this, a method that she'd never tried.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd never... So normally, when she went into the zone, as I called it, I'd get a text or a phone call to say, I've had enough, Mum, I don't want to live anymore. I didn't get any of that. Mm. The last message I had from her was, oh, I'm having a brilliant time, you'll never guess who we've met up, because it was in Manchester. You never guess who we've bumped into up here. You know, it was a driving instructor and her husband. We're going around all the bars with them. I'm having a fabulous time. And then the Sunday morning, I had the phone call.
God. I don't know what to ask about that bit. I really don't.
Again, I went into work mode. That's how I dealt with it.
Yeah.
Went into work mode, and I've not really come out of it, to be fair. It's how I deal with it, and it was. One of the things that for me that brought, I don't know how to say it. So bearing in mind what job I was in, so colleagues of mine now have had to come to deliver the death message. Mm. And my thought as they left, I mean, please don't judge me, because everybody deals with things differently.
Yeah, they do.
My thought for them as they left was, oh my God, how are they going to deal with this? Yeah. They've had to come and speak to it's people I you know, I've done a lot of service with. Yeah. And it was like, how are you going to deal with this now?
I get, reflecting back on it now, where do you think there were failings with the reporting side of things? And I guess I'm asking this coming from a footballing perspective, and we work with volunteers, we work with players. There's all sorts of people that we work with, and safeguarding is massive. We're making it massive, and it needs to be for youth and for adult. But one of the things that I've always said is something doesn't need to feel wrong for it to not be right. And we would always encourage people to report things to us, even if in their mind they're thinking, this is nothing, this is absolutely fine. And it might be, and we hope to God it is. But there will be that odd occasion where it's not, and we just need to pick at it a bit more and get to the bottom of it. So what would you say to our volunteers, to people that are involved in football, from a safeguarding view, from the lessons that you learned? What would you say regarding the reporting?
So the biggest downfall for me in Caitlin's story, from a safeguarding point of view, was the school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, about 2 years after she'd passed away, I found out from somebody that had worked at the school that the school was aware that this boy, this young man, was meeting a 12-year-old after school.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to shoo him off. So that they knew him because they'd expelled him from the school, so they knew he was a wrong 'un. They knew his age because he'd been to school. He was 19,
Mm-hmm.
so you've got a 19-year-old meeting 12 and 13-year-olds from school, and you know that he is not the most savoury type of person. But they just kept shooing him off. I would have expected, from a safeguarding point of view, and this is where I'll go back to how safeguarding is a big word, but it isn't a scary word.
Yeah.
Because all I needed from the school was a 5-minute phone call. Hello, Mrs. Speedman. Just ringing about Caitlin. Are you aware that there's a young man that meets her after school? Is he a family member?
Yeah. Yeah.
As simple as that.
Doesn't need to be glaringly obvious, does it?
No.
It's just
checking in.
That doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah. Is he a family member? Are you aware that this young man's meeting your daughter? And it could be quite innocent, and yeah, it's a cousin. He comes and picks her up for me from school. In this circumstance, it wasn't. He was a predator. He was a paedophile. Now, again, Caitlin was one of 6 girls that he was grooming. She was the only one that he managed to have sex with, but there was 6 girls that this person, in inverted commas, was grooming. Now, the reason we got to know about it in October 2012 was because another local school, a girl, had seen that another girl was receiving messages, so the girl he was grooming, receiving messages from this bloke. And at the time I thought, oh, what a sensible girl, but it wasn't. It was jealousy because he had been grooming her,
right,
but had moved on to this other girl. So this girl had taken this young girl with her phone to the safeguarding teacher at this school and said, look at this, miss, look at this, this is not right, he's 19, this isn't right, look at the messages. And that safeguarding teacher picked up the phone and called the police.
Yeah.
And that was the only way we ever found out about it.
But look at all the different signs that are out there. You know, it's rarely a case of someone, a child going to an adult and saying, this is going on. Because let's be honest, they're very unlikely to.
No.
You know?
No.
Like you say, Caitlin put her walls up. Can totally understand that. But sometimes it could be a mate seeing a text message that they read, you know, in passing on the sneaky and think, that don't look right. Or all of a sudden they come in one day and they've got marks on them, or things just start to look a little bit different. And I think they're the really small things that may be nothing, but like we keep saying, there may just be something.
Yeah, it's just it's having an inquisitive mind, and if you see something, not being afraid to approach and ask. So if you see somebody with marks, I mean, like I say, Caitlin was a self-harmer.
Yeah.
So, you know, straight away, nothing.
Yeah.
You're right, have you done that?
Yeah.
And then you listen to the answer.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't sound quite plausible, you go and speak to somebody.
Yeah.
If it's a parent, a school, the bringing it back to football, the club manager. I've just seen marks on that little kid. Do you know anything about? Oh, yeah, he had a really bad tackle last week. That's from that. It's done, dusted. You've got to the bottom of it. You can't just say, oh, it's all right. It's just
and there's so many ways to escalate it, isn't there?
Yeah.
You know, I think, and this is something that we're trying to really get the message out there, that speak to your club. You know, every club's got a club welfare officer.
Yeah.
Obviously, every team's got a manager. So if someone's comfortable starting with a manager, you go to the manager and then you go to the club welfare officer, and then you can go to your league, and then you can come to us. But ultimately, we don't care if you bypass all of that and come straight to us. I don't care if you bypass all of that and go straight to the FA.
Yeah.
But if there's something that's on someone's mind slightly, it's got to be taken seriously every time. And hopefully, it's nothing.
Yeah, every time. And you've got to understand that just because you are, and in these circumstances, dealing with children, you can't not take what they say seriously.
Yeah.
Just because they're a child.
Yeah.
And again, with a vulnerable adult. Just because they are a vulnerable adult doesn't mean that they're not going to be able to tell you or give you an idea of what's happening.
Yeah.
And sometimes they might not want to say it out loud and in black and white terms. They'll try and give you a clue.
Yeah. It's just picking up on those cues, isn't it, a lot of the time?
Yeah.
So I know you're really heavily involved in a charity, Rough and Ruby.
Yeah.
Is that right?
That's right.
I think it's a great opportunity now for you to tell everybody, and let's really plug this charity. I think that's really important.
So, as a result of arranging Caitlin's funeral, we struggled to think of a charity that for donations to go to. I mean, what charity does a 20-year-old want to support? Caitlin volunteered at this charity when she was at college, and it just popped into my head as we were driving away from the funeral home, actually. So that I rang the charity, told them Caitlin's story. They not only was grateful for the
sort of financial donations, yeah,
but they actually attended the funeral.
Oh.
The two women actually attended the funeral. It's like I say, it's a really small funeral. Small charity. And as a result of all my involvement, I've been involved with them for the past 7 years now. As a result of that, the charity has developed something called the Worthy Project, which is based on Caitlin's life. That's one of the cards that we give out to some of the girls, on the back of which is positive affirmations such as be yourself, you have purpose. And we tell the girls to put this on the mirror where they do the makeup, or in the bathroom where they're brushing the teeth, and just to keep reading those positive affirmations on a daily basis, so to get that into their own heads, that they're not what people keep telling them they are. That's the QR code if anybody wants to know any more information about the charity. So there's the Worthy course is a 6-week course, which is about an hour and a half each time, where we work on an individual basis with a young girl. Not only that, but the charity also has workshops for pretty much anything that's going on in society at the moment. So they do workshops for misogyny, knife crime, drugs, porn, everything you can think of. And it's not just somebody standing up talking at the kids. It's an interactive type of workshop where the charity has a hip-hop crew called Antidote, and they perform at these workshops. They've got spoken word, so what I would call grime music. They've got grime songs that are all about whatever the workshop's about. So knife crime, they've got a song called Ditch the Blade. It's really positive stuff and gets into the kids' heads. We've had feedback from schools that have weeks and weeks after they've been in doing the roadshow, from teachers saying the kids are still wandering the corridors singing the songs. So that message is getting in. Do you know what I mean?
Is this something that I'm going to assume you're going to say yes? So if clubs wanted to know more about this, if they wanted a visit for some of their players, are we all right that they contact the office?
Yeah.
And I'll
we can
send them you.
Yeah. The like I say, the charity is tiny, and we struggle with funding. So there may be a little charge for coming out to the club.
That's fair.
Simply because at the moment we've got National Lottery funding, but that runs out soon.
Okay.
So
Okay.
The CEO, Dawn, who is a whirlwind in herself, is now putting bids in left, right and centre to try and get more funding so we can carry on doing what we're doing.
Okay.
We've also got a app for the phone.
Okay.
Called Youth City.
Okay.
Which is amazing. But at the moment, that's only based in Stoke-on-Trent area.
Ah, right. Okay. Okay.
But the view is to get that rolled out across the country. We've actually been to Parliament with it. I mean, I don't know if you've seen on the news. It's big at the moment, talking about mental health for young people, etc., etc. And what can we do? Well, we are trying to push this out. It's brilliant because it's got somewhere on there where you can get your fix for posting videos on it, but there isn't the facility for then somebody to comment.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not getting the negative. So you're getting your dopamine.
Yeah.
Because you've put something out there for public to see.
But you're not then seeing those sentences where they're soul destroying, aren't they?
It's a very small charity that tries to do a lot with not a lot.
Okay. Well, we can help any clubs that want to know about that. So I guess coming to the end of it, and I was really looking forward to, of all the questions I was going to ask, this was the one that I was going to look forward to the most. What was Caitlin like?
She was brilliant. She was, bearing in mind all I've said that she's gone through, and how I've perhaps portrayed her, you'd think she was just this sad little thing that sat in a corner. No, she wasn't. She wasn't. Very far from it. She was such a dynamo. So she's going through all this trauma herself, and she's on social media helping others all the time. So there was, I think they've taken it off now, like an anonymous messaging type thing. So she'd be getting stick at school because of what happened to her. But then at night time, and it was people, you could tell it was people from her school, were asking her because, like, I've self-harmed and I don't know what to do. And she'd be there, don't worry about it, go and tell your mum, straight away, get it cleaned, etc., etc. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She wasn't judgmental of other people. And anybody's bandwagon that was coming past, she was on it. If it was a cause that she felt strongly about, it didn't have to be affecting her. She was there supporting everybody else. And animals, oh my days. I've got a video of her where she's rescued a pigeon in Hamlet Town Centre at about 3 o'clock in the morning because there was some youths, it obviously injured, and there was some lads being horrible to it. And she's gone. She sorted the lads out. And then she's got her with this pigeon. Oh, come on, I've got you. Yeah, that's Caitlin.
She sounds amazing.
She was. And although she'd gone through this, she was a joy to be around.
Yeah. She
was funny. She was hilarious. Not just funny, she was hilarious. I've got a video of us. The very last holiday I ever went on with her. This was the July. She died in the August. And we were, as you know, I like grime music. Caitlin liked grime music. So we're in the swimming pool and we've recreated one of Big Nasty's social media posts.
This is completely lost on me at this point, but okay.
Big Nasty is a grime artist. He'd gone to a spa with his mates, and he's a big bloke.
Yeah. And
he's swimming in the swimming pool, and one of the lads on the side shouts, "Insta, Insta," and Big Nasty goes, "Man's a fish, cuz." So we've recreated that. That's one of the videos I play all this whenever I feel low, and I'm thinking about it. I get that video out because it makes me smile every time. Me in the pool, man's a fish, cuz.
I love it. I don't even know what you're talking about here, but I love that bit. I just like seeing you glowing.
Yeah, honestly. So we've got some really nice memories, and she was, like I say, she was fun to be around.
Yeah.
But she was suffering.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping that this podcast is going to go away to not educate so much, but give people the reassurance that it is fine and it is right to report things, because sometimes that is the only way we're going to fix a situation.
Yeah, but not even report, because that's like a big word, report. You feel like you're dobbing somebody
Tell
in.
someone.
It's more question.
Yeah.
Ask.
Yeah.
Ask the question. Get involved. Be that person that a young person or a vulnerable adult knows that they're safe to come and speak to.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you ever so much, Kay.
No, you're
I
welcome.
really appreciate you talking so openly with us.
Anytime.
And thank you for watching this. Really appreciate it. This is our first podcast, so we're going to do a few more. I hope is to do one every month or so with a different guest. But like we've said, and I guess the theme through a lot of this has been, please speak up. If you see something or you hear something that just doesn't feel quite right, tell somebody.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who it is, but do not keep it to yourself. Because ultimately our goal is to make sure that kids in sport, in football, are safe, and that vulnerable adults are safe, and that everybody gets to enjoy football in a safe environment.
Yeah.
So with that, thank you.